Assalamu alaikum. Today is the 15th of October 2015 and it's a Thursday, and by the Islamic year it's the second day of the new Islamic year, and we have started 1437. Today's the 2nd of Muharram, and as my first share of this Islamic year, I would like to talk about one verse, and the surah that I would like to do is Al Nur. But before I do it, just a quick reminder to myself and people who do watch this is that the purpose behind these shares is to encourage Muslims who are reading in another language, or Muslims who are reading and they don't know Arabic and they don't read the translations, or Muslims who are not really understanding what they're reading for whatever reason. And also for Muslims who are not reading at all, because we're kind of busy in doing other things. And it's also geared towards non-Muslims, so that they could see what a beautiful religion Islam is. So it's really an invitation to non-Muslims as well, to invite them to be interested in our religion. So Surah Al Nur means a light, and it is the 24th surah, and it's got 64 verses. So it's quite a detailed surah, and it's going to deal with one verse. It covers all aspects of social discourse in the society between men and women in it, and general mannerism and etiquette, and of course Al Nur is the light of God. So Al Nur, the light, it's shedding a light on how one should behave with one another, men and women, and it also is light from Allah, of course, the light of Allah, of course. So without much ado, I am going to now deal with read this little verse, which again is just a reminder to men, Muslim as well as women, as well as men, Muslim and non-Muslim, how beautiful and courteous and fine and refined religion we have. And it goes like this: Kullil mu'minina. Kullil mu'minina. That means say to the believing men, يغضوا من أبصارهم, they should lower their gaze. ويحفظوا فروجهم, and that means, and they should guard their chastity or their private parts. ذلك إزكى لهم إن الله خبير بما يصنعون. ذلك إزكى لهم means it will be pure for them. إنك الله خبير بما يصنعون means, and Allah is aware of what you do. So again, it's just one verse, but it is just the refinement of behavior. It is telling our men, Muslim men who you believe, lower your gaze and protect your private parts, and it will be better for you, and Allah knows what you do. So I think this is quite interesting, because it is a verse that is just before the verse in which women are told to cover, which I will do later at another day. But the first verse tells men, believing men, to lower the gaze and protect their private parts. So again, this is all about reading and comprehension and application. So application of it would be, to my mind, if you're talking to people, to my mind, then of course you have a conversation. It's all right. It's etiquette to make eye contact. But if you are actually, sitting somewhere far away, to stare at one another, it's not a good idea. So it's bad manners according to all standards. So this is just, it'd be good for men of all ages to remind one another that it is not okay to stare at women, so no matter what age you are, whether you're young or you're old or you're middle-aged, staring is just bad manners. Sadaqallahu lazim, It is coming from the Quran. So not because your wife doesn't like it, or your sister, you're embarrassing your sister, or you're offending people at the other table. If that is not sufficient, then really the Quran, the word of God, should be sufficient to coach and guide our Muslim men, Insha'Allah, in this new year of 1437. And then it goes on to say protecting their private parts. Again, that is also encouraging. I think it again is applicable to all men, young, old, as well as middle-aged men, which is that if you protect yourself and your private parts and your chastity, then that would have an automatic effect that it would protect women as well. So everybody would be protected, because it takes two to tango. And if men will protect themselves, then that inadvertently would also protect the women. Because if you protect yourself, you protect others. It's a bit like, to my mind, it's a bit like being on the road and following the rules of the traffic lights. Even if one person breaks that rule, he thinks it's okay to break the light, but really it affects everybody on the road. So Inshallah, may we understand the rules, and maybe use them and apply them and protect ourselves, so that we protect others as well. So it's we're all in it together, Inshallah, and we're all guided, because this Quran al-Hakim, the book of wisdom, must be read, understood and applied, Inshallah. And it would again be good for fathers to read it with their children, because fathers have much more of an authority than mothers. These are just my thoughts, and I hope and wish for all Muslims and non-Muslims for this to be a wonderful year, and may God help us and guide us and guard us, Inshallah. Okay, Ma'as-salamat everybody. Tomorrow is Friday, it's khutbah, the first khutbah, and we will hear much more profound and deep things. But everything is profound. Everything is profound in the Quran, even things like etiquettes, because it's coming from Quran al-Hakim. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Assalamu alaikum.